Hey everyone, today we will talk about jewelry Bolin. Carl Edward Bolin found his way to St. Petersburg in the hope of striking gold. He was the son of a Swedish merchant and sea captain, Jonas William Bolin, who made a living for himself, his wife and their large family of 12 children in international trade. But Captain Bolin was not born under a lucky star. He was shipwrecked in the rough waters of the English Channel, along with all his assets. He and one of his sons were swallowed up by the sea, leaving the large family destitute. Many of the children had happily reached the age of majority. Carl Edward was 26 at his father's death. He was a born businessman and had therefore trained as a bookkeeper. Arriving there in 1833, he found employment with Aromple and John, and shortly afterwards, his future wife in the home of his employer. History was thus repeated. Karl Bolin in Russia, Karl Ivanovich, married Ernestine Katerina, the youngest daughter of Andreas Aromple. Karl Bolin was amazingly talented and a fast learner. During their first years, the brother-in-law had a clear division of tasks. Gottlieb John, being a trained jeweler, headed the production, whereas Karl Bolin saw to the business side of things. However, in short order, Bolin decided to learn the secrets of the craft, and within a few years he had become a master in his own right. A new sign, John and Bolin, was put above the door. The business developed into one of the foremost enterprises of St. Petersburg in the years to come, specializing solely in creation and production. In order to be successful, produced a whole array of merchandise. They became the jewelers of choice of the elite, making personal pieces for the imperial family. No doubt, superior craftsmanship combined with the true talent for business was the key to their success. Gottlieb John died in 1836, making Karl Bolin head of the business. The names of the shop sign here reversed, thereafter reading Bolin and John. John Aromple remained an active member of the firm, thus retaining her widow's right to the benefits of her deceased husband. When in 1839 Emperor Nicholas I appointed Bolin crown jeweler, the same honor was bestowed on Sophia. The nomination was a personal one to the head of heads of renowned business with several decades of service to the court. It required citizenship, and Karl didn't hesitate to become a true Russian. Bolin employed up to 50 craftsmen in 1850s. They worked for the firm in several independent workshops, each headed by a master goldsmith who stamped his production with his personal master's mark. The retail store was located on the Nevsky Prospect, 71-73, on the corner of Gryazная Улица. In 1841, Bolin received an imperial commission to make a tiara, the traditional Russian headdress, the kokoshnik for Empress Alexandra Fedorovna. The tiara became part of the crown jewels after her death and was worn at official occasions by consecutive empresses. It designed with 25 large pearl drops suspended from delicate mounts, thus allowing the pearls to swing freely within their arched openings. Professor Fersman, a legendary mineralogist and member of the Academy of Sciences of Russia, dates the tiara to the reign of Alexander I. He suggests that tiara was made in early as 1815 and says that it's typical perfection of Russian workmanship in the beginning of 19th century. Fersman's assumption of the date of manufacture was not entirely correct. The pearls and diamonds set in a splendid piece came from dismantled crown jewelry and from the stuff of diamonds kept in the cabinet of His Imperial Majesty. At all times and at every court, automated objects have been taken apart and then recycled and designed to suit the latest fashion. Judging a piece merely from examining the cut of the gemstones can lead even expert astray in his endeavor to determine the date to manufacture. One of the magnificent tiaras made by Bolin is described by Fersman as one of the finest specimens of its kind. It was often worn by the last Empress Alexandra Fedorovna. In fact, it seems designed with her in mind. It is well known from the series of official photographs taken of Herbert Karkalovich in 1906 after the opening ceremony of the first Duma. 7 different photographic angles documented the tiara for posterity. Majesty stood immobile on a turntable for this portrait, enabled the photographer to work without disturbing the meticulously arranged court gown with its long train, thus making the procedure easier for all concerned. Sadly, the present whereabouts of the piece are unknown. The likelihood it was dismantled, as it was closely linked of ill-fated sovereign whose memory the new regime wanted to erase. Shortly after the death of his brother-in-law Karl Bolin sent for his young, by 13 years, brother Henry Conrad, Russia called Andrei Ivanovich, from Sweden to join him in the business. He quickly learned the trade, matured into the efficient collaborator, and was soon fluent in Russian. Imperial commissions remained an important part of Bolin production during the following decades. This included orders for official gifts and awards, the most prestigious of which was the diamond portrait badges of the emperor and empress, which were given to the foremost eminent men and women of the empire. During the reigns of Nicholas I and Alexander I, Bolin was the leading manufacturer of these valuable objects. In addition, the firm production was the hundreds of gem set presentation boxes, insignia, the stars of the highest orders, which were all conferred upon highly ranked Russians as well as foreign heads of state. Bolin took part in the grand 1851 Crystal Palace exhibition in London, alongside his St. Petersburg colleagues, the jewelers Henrik William Kammerer and Leopold Savtigin. He displayed both fine jewelry set with precious stones and designs in the fashion of the day, brooches and bracelets in the form of dragons, nuts, and flowers. This same year, A.Bolin was appointed appraiser to the Russian imperial court. In 1852, Henrik Bolin decided to try and make a go of it on his own in Moscow and founded a jewelry firm there together with the Englishman by name of James Stuart Shanks. Their shop, Shanks & Bolin, was soon renamed Magazine Anglaise by the Moscovits, not to be confused with St. Petersburg firm Nicholas and Prinke, which also bore his designation, and became the ultimate place to go for luxurious novelties such as gloves, for collars, fans, umbrellas, and parasols. Shanks handled the business side while Bolin designed and crafted jewelry as well as silver and crystal items. The latter soon became the most profitable product line of the fast-growing company. The two branches of the Bolin firm worked closely together.